Aloha, y'all, and welcome to Business Bites with Brandy. I have a special guest today, Megan Nolan with Vitality Wellness, and she helps purpose driven women get out of self care overwhelm by creating a meaningful morning routine that leaves them feeling amazing and sets them up for massive momentum each day. She's the creator of The Warrior's Journey, which is her unique combination of yoga, toning exercises, and mental fitness that gives you the tools you need for holistic health and happiness. And Megan and I have been friends for a couple of years. I first found her through yoga at my desk, which I'm a huge desk jockey, so it was very helpful. And then she inspired me to create a morning power hour for myself, and it really just changed my life. Morning power hours set you up for the day. So, Megan, why don't we talk a little bit about what self-care overwhelm is? We both talk about self-care a lot, but what is self-care overwhelm?
Well, thank you so much for having me. Great to be here with you and with your beautiful community. So, I guess self care overwhelm could be explained with a little bit of a story of why I think this is so important for people to even understand is that when we are in the business of business and growing and learning, and especially people that are very interested in personal development, which many of your community likely are, we can get really interested in all sorts of different things. We want to learn how to do the tapping and the meditation and the journaling and the yoga and the breath work and the workouts and all the things that we're interested in. And then maybe we start to hear about the things that we're supposed to be doing for physical vitality. So as a personal trainer and a yoga instructor, I help people really lean into physical vitality. And so there's 5 key components of strength and flexibility and balance and core and cardio. So as you start to hear all these things, maybe your mind starts spinning a little bit. So that's, the initial kickoff into self-care overwhelm. But then the other piece is that as business owners, we're wanting to show up vibrantly, show up grounded, show up calm so that we can take care of everything with ease and speed. And so for me, that's exactly where I was. And I was wanting to figure it all out, do all the things, show up, make an impact, all of that. And I literally was trying to do it all until I couldn't do any of it. And I literally crashed out in complete exhaustion and burnout. And that's when I realized that it wasn't working and it wasn't what I was here for, what I signed up for. And it really wasn't enjoyable, hands down. That's, it came back down to it. I was like, this is awful. I'm so exhausted, so tired. And what I realized was that I was in the state of what I call the worn out woman. And I was really struggling with self-care overwhelm because I was trying to put all the pieces together. And so those are sort of the factors that sort of exemplify it. But then another situation is that we can have good intentions about doing our workouts, doing our yoga, but yet we tell ourselves, I'll do it later. I'll get to it later. After I've done 5 more things, I'll go do that. Maybe I'll start on Monday, maybe next week, maybe next quarter, maybe next year. And so that's a whole other component of self-care overwhelm. Or we get excited and we're like, okay, let's go on YouTube. Let's pull up our YouTube and we're going to go and look on there. And we're trying to, figure out all the things that Megan just said I should have for physical vitality. And then 3 hours later, you're just looking at videos of baby goats leaping over fences. And you're like, what am I even doing here? My back hurts. I'm not exercising. I'm looking at golden retriever puppies. Like, what is going on here? And so that's, kind of the epitome of it. And the other pieces too, is that as very purpose driven, AKA very driven, AKA very high achieving, we can get into this story of, well, is it really worth anything if I'm not doing it for a half an hour or an hour? Like, what's the point? Or is it really worth anything if I'm not doing it every day? I don't know. And we talk ourselves out of it. And we have this gold standard of perfection. But the truth is that it is worth it. Every little bit adds up. And when we have that cumulative effect, and when you start the day with that intention and that decision and that commitment to yourself and to your health and how you feel, then it starts to dissipate the self-care overwhelm because you have tool set based on how you're feeling that day to intuitively create your meaningful morning routine.
Right. And that's what, I noticed too, that in starting your day with it too really made a difference for me because then I wasn't saying, oh, well, I'll get to it after work or maybe I'll carve an hour out at lunch, which never happens, right? It never happens.
Mhm.
So talk to me a little bit about why morning routines are so popular. I know why I like to work out in the morning. But you were the one that really opened my eyes to this. So why don't you tell us why morning routines are so popular?
Well, we hear a lot about them, and it's often kind of touted as a recipe for highly successful people. Like we often hear, Oprah and Tony and Brandy Bouchard and all the big names, they are always huge advocates for morning routine. And so we get excited because we're like, okay, well, if I follow in their footsteps, success leaves clues, da 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 da. And then we think, I don't know about his, it doesn't really work for me, or Oprah's is, I don't know, I want it to be different. But what we want to think about is the fact that they have them and then they're huge advocates for them. And there's a reason behind that. And the key is, first and foremost, how you are feeling on every level of your being. And as humans, we're really not designed to sit all day, but most of us spend a lot of time sitting. Sitting has an effect on our posture that's not necessarily very beneficial, and it can cause also all sorts of aches and pains and issues. And so if you move your body, when you move your body first thing in the morning, it helps you to activate the muscles that help you to hold strong posture, which is powerful because when you activate your muscles, you're oxygenating them, you're sending blood flow. And as you do that, you're sending blood flow throughout your entire body, including your brain. So when we exercise first thing in the morning, it can increase your productivity throughout the day by upwards of 72%, which is a very significant increase. And so when we have that inner fire lit up, if you will, like you're sparked up, you're ready, you're like, yay, look at me, I did it, I'm going to have a great day today. So energetically, it really shifts your inner state, which is very powerful. You're more focused, you're more clear-headed, you're more calm, you're just generally a nice person to be around because you're not cranky, because your body doesn't hurt so bad, that you are in flow, if you will. And so energetically, when you're in flow like that and your brain is oxygenated, you revved up your inner fire, you're kind of stoked and ready for the day. You've also increased your metabolism, which is very important, right? So that we're literally everything is fired up within you. So that's very impactful, both from a productivity and a performance perspective, but also from a personal perspective of giving yourself that time to set the intention to create some space for yourself. Because the truth is, you probably already have a morning routine. The question is, how meaningful is it? How much is it moving towards your vision? How much is it creating a magnetism within yourself? Or how much is it you spending time on your phone, checking all the apps and all the emails and all the things? And then like, oh, okay, I better get started. Da, 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 da. You walk to your desk and then you sit there for 6 hours and then you stand up eventually to pee. And then you go back and sit down again, and so it's like, we can have these habits, but it's how much awareness do we have to it? And so both from a physical perspective of keeping your body strong and revitalized, but also energetically to fuel that spark within you, stoking the inner fire. Also from an emotional perspective, your posture and your inner state, your emotional state are very interconnected. And when we sit in that weak, slumped, ouchy, slouchy posture, yeah, exactly, it closes everything off. Whether you want to look at that from an energetic perspective, it's hard for you to breathe. You're not sending energy up to the brain. You're closing off your energy centers. Or from a more physical perspective, it causes stress in your body because you're breathing in a short, shallow pattern, which triggers inflammation and cortisol. And when you're under stress, you're not in a high functioning state, you're in a survival state. So you can look at it from both perspectives, and both actually have a significant amount of research behind them. So neither here nor there, whichever avenue you want to take, but maybe you want to take both of them, just really recognizing how impactful it can be for you.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. I know before I was doing morning routine, and for years, especially the mornings, because I know most of us wake up dehydrated, right? And so we wake up feeling fatigued, and then we just kind of carry that drag and lag with us through the rest of the day, right? And so hydrating, getting your body moving, getting your brain oxygenated, waking up your muscles, waking up your brain, setting your intentions for the day. It's really amazing how impactful 1 hour in the morning can be, and how much it sets you up for positivity for the rest of the day. And we talk a lot about being in a positive mindset opens you up for seeing opportunities instead of obstacles. It's just a great way to get through your day. And I definitely have noticed a posture difference. Now, I've started networking a whole lot, and I'm telling you, if I'm on a networking event, or I'm networking with someone and this is my posture,
Mhm.
then I'm not very excited about what I'm telling them, right? I don't look very excited about what I'm telling them. So having my posture up and open
Mhm.
changes the pitch of my voice, changes my body language, and how they pick up on the information I'm trying to give them. And so, yeah, really incredible, just 1 hour a day. So, we talked about how impactful it can be, but why do you think that a meaningful morning routine is essential, especially for business owners like you and I?
That's a great question. And one thing I wanted to point out is that although I would love, for everyone to have the space to have an hour every morning, sometimes that is a limiting factor for people. And have it be effective and meaningful, it doesn't have to be an hour if you don't have the space for it. So don't let that be something that stops you. Because the
Okay.
truth is that when when you have a business, you are the foundation of all of it, right? And it's your team, your clients, your copy, your social, your email. Like, you hear the word that's in every one of those little blurbs, right? And
Yeah.
so the way that you show up is so directly impactful to how every interaction goes. And you were just really speaking quite beautifully to the impact of people reading you differently, right? And so whether you are knowingly aware of it or not, your energy and your posture, your body language is communicating, upwards of 60 to 70% of the information that somebody perceives from you and receives from you before you even open your mouth and say anything. Right. And we all have that. And this is, again, maybe considered sort of out there and spiritual, but actually there's a load of science behind the energy that each of us emits. And when you are in a more grounded and calm state, i.e., you're in a state where your heart rate is actually beating at a very consistent rhythm because you're grounded and you're calm and you're not, oh my God, I got to get to the meeting. You are in a very, very, very steady state. And when you're in that state, you're very present. You've activated different parts of your brain, which are the higher functioning parts of your brain, not the like, oh shit, I gotta go, blah, 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 frantic part of your brain. It is very, very, very impactful in how you interact and how you engage. And so when you take that time for yourself first thing in the morning, be it 5 minutes or an hour or anywhere in between, you are quite literally setting the tone for your entire day by starting the day with that level of intention. And when it comes to the direct impact that that has on achieving your goals, we know, again, this is, a not so secret success secret, is that people are very, very commonly, they speak about connecting to the goals, connecting to your vision, connecting to that state of experiencing it. And again, this is well-validated science of visualization and connecting the mind to that, creating that pathway in your brain, both from a neural perspective, but also from a visual perspective. So when you have that moment of, or whatever amount of time it is for you to really lean into that and connect to that within yourself, giving your brain a clear picture of achieving your goals. Otherwise, it will derail your progress because it's freaked out because it's something totally different and unfamiliar. And also really tapping into that state of how you're going to show up, making the decision to care so much about how you feel that you make it a priority. That's really what the meaningful morning routine comes down to, because it can be really easy to say later, later, later. And we're conditioned to say that all of these things are really important, and they are as a business owner. But if you're not there to write the copy or do the things or serve the clients because you're sick, exhausted, or burnt out, then what's going to happen? Right. So think about it from the direct impact that it has on your ROI, how important it is for you to be taken care of as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I was just telling a friend the other day about, if you don't plan downtime, then you're gonna take down unplanned downtime. right? And
Mhm.
so it's really up to you to mindfully make those minutes matter and set yourself up for success by by having this morning routine. And thank you for reminding us that it doesn't need to be an hour. I definitely get hung up in that power hour thing, and I know that when I look at my schedule, and if I'm running late in the morning, or something comes up and it starts to edge into my power hour, then I do feel some resistance, like, maybe I should just, do it later in the day. And it's a good reminder that if I only end up having half an hour, then I can still like do a 7 minutes of movement, do 5 minutes of yoga, do 5 minutes of meditation, along with some breath work, and that's going to set me up for productivity and positivity far better than if I say, "Oh, I'll do it tonight," which probably won't happen, right?
Right. Or when
So,
we go, I'll do it tonight. I only have a half an hour right now. Okay. How's it going, Instagram? What are you doing over there, TikTok?
right.
And it's like, hello, we can so quickly, and like, anybody that has an iPhone, I don't know how it works on Android, but you get an update every week of how much time you've been on your phone. And let's be real, it's alarming, at least for
It
me.
it is alarming. No, for me too, and for both of us, because we have social media footprints. If that number is a little shocking, then I always tell myself, well, I know I spend a half hour every day promoting stuff, and
Mhm.
I spent X amount of time responding to people who messaged me, or who, whatever. We can
Right.
say, hey, for me, it's a workspace,
Yes.
right? But it's definitely have to have a little bit of personal accountability and say, how much time were you watching silly dog videos, or how much time were you just, all it seemed like all of my friends traveled the same week, and I've had like an extra 3 hours of Facebook time that week, and I was like, I'm
Oh,
just traveling with my friends.
right.
That's what
Yes.
I'm
Vicarious
doing.
world glow adventures.
I went to Italy and Russia and
Ah,
Spain this week. So there,
delicious.
Facebook. you know. So, but yeah, I mean, that's the first thing, right? That's the first thing. If
Yeah.
you feel like you don't have enough time in your day to do stuff, check your squirrel time, check your TV time, and take a tiny bit of that, take a slice of that, and turn it into me time, or in your case, you time. All right,
Yeah.
wonderful. I'm going to put some links down in the bottom so that you can check out Megan's mini morning routine.com. And I will also put links down to social media pages for both of us. So if I highly encourage you to come over and join Megan. She does amazing stuff. I think she's doing a breath. You have a take a breather today on
Mhm.
Mondays, right? So come and check her out. She throws out all kinds of good nuggets throughout the week. And I'll throw my social media down there too, just in case you want to catch some more better business strategies or some better life strategies for your life. Megan, it's been a pleasure having you on today. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate you coming on, being a guest on Business Bites with Brandy.
Thank you
All right,
so
yeah,
much for having me.
you are welcome. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you again real soon. Aloha.
Aloha.